the recording. So today we're going to go over a few things. We're not going to do breakout rooms today because the assignment that I was going to give the breakout room that doesn't have me in it is a bit challenging. So instead of doing that, just for today, we're going to be working all together. So the lesson will be a little shorter today, but it is for a good reason because you guys do have some work that you need to finish up for me. So we're going to go through this bell ringer. So the first question says, when you are multiplying two double-digit numbers, what is the final step to get the product? Who can tell me?
By adding.
You add them. So the final step is addition, right? Because if I were to do, let's say, 15 times 13, I do my first step, second step, and then I have to add them all together. And that gives me my final answer, okay? So yes, addition. Number 2 says, when you are multiplying two double-digit numbers, what should you do immediately after you have multiplied the first row of numbers before you start to multiply the second row?
Put a 0.
Yes, you're going to put a 0. So like 15 times 13, I multiply this first part, I put in a 0, multiply the second, add it up. Okay, any questions on those first two?
No.
Should know how to do that. All right, so I'm gonna write a 0. All right, so number 3, we have some simple multiplication. So 6 times 5?
30.
30. 5 times 2?
10.
Plus 3?
13.
So 130 is the first one. Did everyone get 130?
Yes.
Everyone other than my 2 that are answering? Guys, can you give me a thumbs up? Okay, perfect. So I do hear from others. Okay, awesome. All right, now the next one. This one is a double digit. So both are double digits. So we have to remember that second question. So our first step is 7 times 2, which is
14.
14. 8 times 7?
56.
Plus 1?
57.
57.
57. Then I'm going to put my 0. 3 times 2?
6.
3 times 8?
24.
I'm going to add it all together. So 4. 6 plus 7 is what?
13.
5 plus 4?
9.
Plus 1?
10.
10.
And then 2 plus 1?
3.
Is that what everyone got?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah? All right. Awesome. Awesome. Okay, so any questions on the bell ringer?
No.
Okay, so as you can probably guess, we're doing multiplication today.
Oh,
Susan, don't do that. Multiplication is fun,
I like multiplication, but not with decimals.
but this is easy, okay? And I'm going to tell you a little hint. So whenever you see that little star, that's me giving you guys a hint. So the hints are always like a shortcut or, you know, something easy to remember so that it makes solving the problems a little bit easier. So when it comes to multiplying with decimals, the number one thing is ignore the decimal point. Okay, worry about the decimal point at the end of the problem. So what ends up happening is to find the place for the decimal, count how many numbers are to the right of a decimal point in the problem. So to do that, we're going to do the first problem. I'm going to show you. We do 3 times 2, which is just 6. 5 times 3, which is 15. So now what I'm telling you is count how many numbers are to the right of a decimal point in the problem. So in 5.2 times 3, how many numbers are to the right of a decimal point?
1.
Just 1, right? So your decimal point is always after the last number, okay? If you don't have a decimal point, it's going to be at the end, right? So in this case, 3 actually does have a decimal point, but the number that follows is 0. So I don't need to write that. Okay, so my decimal point starts over here, and we said we have 1, so I'm going to move the decimal point only 1 spot. So my answer is 15.6, or 15 6/10. Yes?
Yes.
Easy, Susan?
Yes.
Much better than before, maybe? I don't know.
Yes.
Because I know in the book, when I looked at the book, it actually said multiply 3 by 5, and that gives you 15, so your number should be about 15, and put your decimal place there. I feel like that leads to a lot of confusion. I think this way is much easier. You just count and put your decimal point. And actually, if we do it the book's way, you know, it is true, right? 3 times 5 is 15. I put 15.6. So it is accurate, but it's a lot easier to do it this way. So the next one, 8 times 1 is just 8. Now I'm going to go back to my blue. And then 7 times 8 is what?
56.
56. I have how many decimal points?
1.
1. So in the chat, write where the decimal point is going to go. Between what 2 numbers? So between 5 and 6, or 6 and 8? Okay, I see pretty much everyone agrees. My decimal point is going to go between 6 and 8. Remember that it starts over here, it moves over 1 spot, and it ends up between the 6 and the 8. Okay, now this next one, 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 1 is 4. And what's 5 times 4?
20.
20. So now, I have how many decimal points? Places?
1. 2.
2.
2. Okay, so in the chat, tell me where it's going to go. Between which 2 numbers? 2 and 0, 0, 4, 4, 8.
Zero, 4.
So it's going to go between 0 and 4. So my decimal starts over here. I go 1, 2, and I put it there. Now let's say there was another number. I'm going to put another 1 over here. Okay. Where would my decimal point end up?
Between the 2 and the 0.
It would be between the 2 and, or no, not between the 2 and the 0. Although I guess it would if that was our answer. But if I had a 1 there, and I'm going to write it, I'm going to keep my main one in blue, and my addition to the problem is going to be in red. So 4 times 1 is just 4. Where would it be?
Between the 0 and the 4.
So it would still be between the 0 and the 4, right? If it's 3. Okay. So we see that all it matters is how many decimal points I have there, okay? So let's do the next one. Now I have 0 times 1, which this whole part is going to just be 0, right? Because 0 times any number is 0. And then I have 1 times 1, 1 times 1. I add it up. I have 1 decimal place, so my answer is that. Is that right?
Yes.
Did I do this problem correctly?
Yes.
No.
What's wrong, Susan?
Because I don't know, but in in fifth grade, they showed me that you had to add a 0 and then bring it down.
All right, someone from my other periods helping you out, Susan?
Isn't it 2?
So, no, it wouldn't be 2 because I'm not adding the 1 with anything. But
Isn't it 1.0?
I don't know where we're looking at. But are you saying that the decimal should be over here? Oops, that was my eraser. That the decimal should be over here?
I thought it would like the 1 will be a 0, then 1.0.
Okay, so what I did was I did not write in the 0 here. Okay, so you guys got to pay attention. I will mess up on purpose. All my periods, it never fails. I tell them, I do this right? Yeah. I think you guys think, oh, it's Miss Perdomo. She's going to do it right anyway, but I won't. So you need to make sure you're keeping an eye on it. So 1 plus 0 is 1. That's going to stay a 1. So my answer is just 11. Okay, so make sure that you don't forget that 0 in the second row. Any questions on that one?
No.
All right, so we're going to do the last example we have here. What's 3 times 6?
18.
18. I'm gonna just 3 times 6 again is 18 plus 1 is 19. And then 3 times 2 is 6 plus 1 more is 7. Now I put my 0. And then 4 times 6?
24.
24. I'm gonna do this bottom part in a different color. So that way I don't get confused with my numbers that I'm adding above. So 6 times 4 again, 24 plus 2 is going to give me 26. And then 4 times 2 is 8 plus 2 more
10.
is 10. Okay, now I add everything together. That's going to be 8. 9 plus 4 is
13.
13. 1 plus 7 plus 6
14.
is 14. And then 1 plus 0 is just 1. Let me fix my ones. Someone in my last period wasn't sure if it was a 1, so I want to make sure that you guys know. So my answer is that. Is that my full answer? Am I done?
No,
You forgot the decimal.
So I have to do my decimal. So how many, between what 2 numbers? Put it in the chat. What 2 numbers is my decimal place going to go? I'm going to change my pen color. All right, so let's see. I had 2 numbers after the decimal. I had the 6 and another 6, so 2. I start back here, 1, 2. So 114.38 or 114 and 38 hundredths. Any questions on these problems? You guys can give me a thumbs up. Diego put in the chat no, so you can tell me no in the chat. A thumbs up works. Okay, awesome. All right, so we're gonna do 4 more problems just for extra practice, but now you guys are going to basically tell me what to do. All right, so let me get a volunteer or I will call on you guys, and I think it's better that we just volunteer. So who wants to do number 1? Oh boy, looks like I'm gonna get to pick some people. Susan, are you gonna do number 1? Well, you do if I tell you to do it.
Sí. Sí.
Let me see. Who is going to solve the problem? So number 1, Gabriella. What is my first step for number 1?
You have to multiply 7 times 6,
Which is
which is, 42.
42. So I put my 2 down there, I carry my 4,
Then
and
you
then
have to multiply 6 times 2,
which is
which is going to be 12, but then you have to plus 4, so now that would be 16.
so 16. And where does my decimal go?
And between the 6 and the 2.
Perfect. Awesome job. See, it wasn't so bad. Okay, so who's going to do the next one? You know what? I'm going to write down the people who are going to do the last 2. And number 4, we're going to do together. So no one's going to do 4 by themselves. So let's see. I'm going to have for number 2, Angie. Well, those are my last 2. So Angie, what's my first step?
Multiply
Okay, multiply what?
8 times 1,
Which is
8.
8. Then 8 times what? What's the next one?
8 times 7,
Which is
56.
so 56. All right, next step.
8 times 0, which is 0.
Mm-hmm.
And then
But then what do I have to do?
add a 0.
So I have 8 times 0, but then I have what's above it?
5.
The 5. So I have to add 5. So what is it going to be?
5.
5. Now I want to make sure that you guys understand, because in my last period and yesterday, they were having an issue. You have to multiply 8 times 0 first, okay? You have to multiply it first and then add that 5. They were doing 8 times 0, 0, but then they would still add 5 to 8, and they would say, oh, it's 12 or 13. It's not that. You want to do 8 times 0, and then that answer to plus 5, okay? So Angie, what's the last one? So the last multiplication is what? It's going to be 8 times 0.
Yes.
So 0. Now where does my decimal go?
In between the 5 and the 6.
So not between the 5 and the 6. Remember, there's 3 of them. I go 1, 2, 3. Okay. All right. Thank you, Angie. All right. Haniwal,
Yes.
let's go. What's the first
Then-
step?
Multiply 9 times 8. It will be
Which is?
72.
Okay.
Then we put the 2 and then we put the 7 in the 0. And then it will be 0 times 8. 0 plus 7, 7.
All right.
Then will be 0 times 8. It will be 0.
All right.
Then we put a 0 down. Then we multiply 9 times 1. That's 9. Then 0 times 1, that is 0. and then another time 0 times 1, 0. Next, we add the numbers.
Okay, what do we get?
Wait, I'm adding.
Okay.
Mm. Mm. 162.
So we have the 2 here. 7 plus 9 is 16. We
Mhm.
carry the 1. 1 plus 0 is 1, and 0 is going to be 0.
Yeah,
Okay.
162.
And where's the decimal going to go?
Between the 1 and the 6.
Between the 1 and the 6. So that is correct. Now, Aniwal already said 162, so he is right. You don't have to put that 0, okay? When I talk about $1, I don't write $1, right? I just write the 1. I don't put that 0 there, okay? So you don't have to put the 0, so it is 1.62. Any questions on those 3? No? All right, so the last one. Ms. Perdomo buys 20 pencils for 50 cents each. So remember, this is a word problem. You want to circle, you want to underline. So 20 pencils, 50 cents each. She pays with a $20 bill. How much change will she receive? Okay. So this is a 2-part. Our first part is doing what?
Multiplying.
So we have to multiply to find what?
The total amount.
The total amount of the pencils, right? So we have to do the 50 cents times 20. That's step 1. Now step 2 is the actual question, which is saying how much change. So what operation is that? Addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division?
No.
Aniwal?
Subtraction?
It is subtraction. You were right, Sasha. You got to say it though. It is subtraction, right? Because I pay with $20 and I want my change. So they have to subtract the amount of the pencils from my $20 bill and give that back to me, okay? So let's go ahead and do the multiplication first. This one is easy, right? Everything in the first row is just 0. I'm gonna put a 0 down at the bottom. 2 times 0 is 0. 5 times 2 is what?
10.
10. So I put my 0 down there. I carry the 1. 2 times 0, like we said, 0. Plus 1
1.
is 1. So I ran out of space, so I'm going to write it over here. So where does my decimal point go? Let's see if Susan tells me.
Between the 0 and 0, like
Here?
No, the other 0.
The other 0 and 0, right?
Yes.
So this one, right? We had 2. I start back here, 1, 2. So $10. I spent $10 on pencils. Now I'm going to do my subtraction. So I'm going to do 20 minus 10. This one is really easy.
They give you $10.
It will be $10, right? Because all the zeros just come down as 0. And then 2 minus 1 is 1. So my change is $10.
Yes.
Are there any questions on what we did today?
No.
No.
We all understand it?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So now what I want to tell you guys a few things. Number 1, you have 2 flip grids, and I'm going to share my screen because I went ahead and the other day, I don't know if you guys noticed, but I went ahead and now when you are on our main Teams page, right, it all looks kind of like this. But you guys, right next to the grades, will have something that says 1 more. So mine says 2 more because I have teacher stuff there. So when you click on that 2 more, or 1 more, I'm sorry, you now have Flipgrid. So I went ahead and I put Flipgrid into our Teams. So you do not have to use the website. You don't need to use the phone or anything. You can just go straight on from Teams, okay? I mean, obviously, if you're using Teams on your phone, I guess you would be using your phone still, but you know what I mean. You don't need the app. You can just go here, put in your ID number. Does someone want to give me their ID number so I can show you guys what it'll look like?
Can you try with mine? Because like I tried last week, I think. No, not last week, yesterday. All right, and then it ain't I couldn't answer. I don't know why.
All right, Susan, what's your ID number?
0680-541.
So this is what it looks like. So you can see it says period 3. You have your topics. So you have, how do you like your math class? This is the one that you guys have to do for this week. I am extending the due date until tomorrow because since Monday there was no school, I'm giving you guys that extra day back. But you just click the record a response and it'll work. I'm not gonna give it access because I don't wanna do that here. But it's just like using it on the website, okay? If you did not do your introduction, you click view topics and there it is. Record your response. You can see that you did, it says 1 response. I don't know why mine is the only one there, but you know, you can do it. You switch between the topics and now you don't even have to leave Teams, okay?
Miss Perdomo,
Yes.
I'm gonna try to do mine today because my mom had to activate the flash.
Okay, yeah, try it out and see that it works. I'm gonna stop sharing the screen. So today, you guys need to do, if you haven't done the other Flipgrid, you need to do both Flipgrids. Remember that today is the day that if you do not do your introduce yourself video, you will be getting a 0 in the gradebook until you actually do it. When you do it, yes.
How do I see if I did it or not?
You did it.
Okay.
I saw yours in your introduction. I already gave you your A. So like I said, I pretty much have the Flipgrid tab open all day and I'll just randomly refresh to make sure I don't miss any that showed up. And then I check them, I put the grades in. So I already put up some of the grades. I don't remember if your period has any from the topic for this week, but my other periods did. So I put in their grades. I put in the grades from the introduce yourself. So if you haven't done yours, you right now have an X, but today is the last day that you will have the X. After tomorrow, you will have the 0. And if you turn it into me tomorrow, you can get a B, which is better than a 0. So try to get it done today. But if you can't, at least tomorrow, okay? The next thing is, so you have to do the 2 Flipgrids. You need to finish your 8 Math Habits booklet. If you have not finished it, please finish it today. Post a picture of it on Teams and you will get your A for that as well. I think some of you guys have already posted it. I know in my other periods, they have posted their pictures. So that's all you need to do is just post a picture of it. You will get your grade for it. That's that one. The other thing is there was a homework assignment from last class and there is a homework assignment today. So the homework assignment for today won't be due until next week, but it's only 10 problems. And I would suggest that you guys do it today so you can enjoy your weekend. And you have plenty of time to do that, right? We're ending early today because there's no breakout sessions. So work on the homework. I will put in the links for the drop boxes for you guys to submit them. And I think that's it. Do you guys have any questions for me?
Yeah, 1 second. For the 8 Math Habit book, do we have to like write inside of it or do we just leave it?
All you have to do is copy it exactly like I had on the online one.
Okay.
So you just write everything in, but you don't have to answer the questions. You don't have to put in any examples, nothing like that. You're just gonna make the actual booklet.
Miss
Okay,
Perdomo,
thank you.
I got a question too.
Yes.
That day I wasn't here because I told you I needed to go to the
Yes,
doctor.
you had to leave early.
Yes.
So the booklet is just, you take like 3 pages and you're gonna fold them over. I don't have my booklets around me. Let me see, I have like a paper towel or something I can maybe use really quickly so I don't have to leave. So you have a piece of paper, you're gonna fold it over so it looks like a little book, okay? And then on the front, I'm gonna repost the link for the information, but you have to copy everything that's on the virtual one. So the online booklet is gonna say 8 math habits, and then it's gonna tell you everything that's gonna be on the inside of the pages, okay? You don't have to answer any of the questions that are there. You just have to copy it, and then you can decorate the book however you want.
Okay.
Okay? Any other questions?
How do I post it on Teams?
So you just take a picture. You can use the webcam on the laptop, and once you've taken the picture, at the bottom where you can post messages, there's a little paper clip. And when you click the paper clip, it'll let you upload the picture. Or you can even just drag the picture into the little text box. Okay? Any other questions? All right, so you guys are good to go. You can get started on your work and have a good weekend, and I will see you all on Tuesday. Remember, Tuesday, not Monday. All right?
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.